Yep. So we were doing like a couple of them. I think we had like three illegal ones that we just like had a lease on. They're a little bit more regulated on Facebook ads. So we end up getting our ad account shut down. And if you don't remember, that's like the exact date everything shut down. So like they were
Okay.
moving in. Like I was low key spooked, bro. Our parents was calling us like, y'all know y'all can move back if y'all want to. We really were all in. Like, bro, I was like, bro, I'm really about to be like a real estate
Oh,
person.
okay, yeah.
And it had like COVID happened, bro, and it had to be like the biggest. At the time, it seemed like the most heartbreaking and like disappointing thing ever. But it's obviously a blessing because I think clothing brand owners end up having like a big ego. It seemed like it was a success pretty quickly, but it was a bunch of years of just taking L after L after L after L, and just me constantly trying and never giving up.
Today I sit down with the homie Tevin. He built 2 brands last year doing well over $1 million in sales, and his clothing brand did over $100,000 in just 60 days. Today he's gonna let you know the best way to grow your brand going into 2025.
That's a little bit more about my story of how I got started. I've been in this game for a long time, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I'm here to share what I can.
So if you're ready to take advantage of social media so that you can see some exponential growth, then Tevin's gonna break down exactly how you can take advantage of that going into this year. Let's link up with Tevin and see what he has to say.
Yo, welcome back. I got a special video for you guys today. I got my homie with me. He's grown more than one brand last year, well over 6 figures, one of them over $1 million. He's gonna talk about the best ways that you should probably focus your brand going into 2025. You wanna introduce yourself to everybody?
What's going on, Rich? Appreciate you having me on. My name is Tevin Holiday. I currently run a supplement company as well as a apparel company, and I also help other, marketing with other companies as well too, which you might be familiar with. But I'm here to share as much game as I possibly can. Once again, I appreciate you having me on.
No doubt. Appreciate you joining. All right, so let's talk. A lot of people here, they got clothing brands, so we could probably start with that. I know you got like a supplement brand as well. How did you start your brand? When did you start it?
Yeah, so I actually take y'all back. I think my first brand I started was a clothing brand back in 2015. So I was in school. I was just I had multiple jobs and just it wasn't adding up. So I was just like Googling how to make money and stuff like that. Came across e-commerce. And this is like before we had Rich and we had other people telling us how to do stuff. So I was really just like thugging it out, trying to just figure out what to do. And it popped pretty well. Nothing crazy, but I'm very proud of what I did with that. And from there, I just kind of been in the e-commerce world. So I've had a supplement company before. I've had an apparel company before. And I actually started this apparel company with my girl. She just always seen me do e-commerce stuff. So she always said, I want something. I want a brand. So I would always like try to keep her accountable. And one day she came up with a name, Y'all Need Jesus. And I just knew that was the one from it. So that's a little bit more about my story of how I got started. I've been in this game for a long time. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. And I'm here to share what I can.
So what made you go from there and then go into the clone brand? The clone brand was new for you then.
Yeah. Are you talking about the newest one?
Yeah.
So just I see a lot of you inspired me. People like World and Vision, they inspired me. So I just see a lot of clothing brand spaces, and I'm one of those people that like to take a swing at things. And once again, my girl, she was very adamant on it, so we got it popping, and we're here now.
But you were successful at it. A lot of people hop into the game and then like they fail pretty quick. Like, what do you feel like fueled that success a lot more? Like, I know you had a lot of failures in the past, but like, what did you learn and then you took that into growing your clothing brand?
Yeah, probably. I mean, exactly that. I failed so many times that I knew exactly what not to do this time. So, it seemed like it was a success pretty quickly, but it was a bunch of years of just taking L after L after L after L, and just me constantly trying and never giving up. So immediately, I just kind of honed in on a lot of skills over the past few years, and I was able to just put it into one brand.
I see. So, but you were really good at the content too. Did you make content before?
Yeah. We were like the supplement company. I think we started doing TikTok in 2021. Like 2020 is when we started the brand. So right when COVID happened. So our brand took off pretty well right then, obviously because it was a health problem going on, and we had a health product that like was like a temporary solution for COVID. So we were really on Facebook ads heavy. And what happened was, just because we're a supplement company, they're a little bit more regulated on Facebook ads. So we ended up getting our ad account shut down, and that's where we were making 95% of our income. So we had to figure something out right there. That's when we got into TikTok, and we realized the power of organic growth right there. So we ended up starting doing the same type of amount of sales without having to spend any money on it. So yeah, yeah, I just constantly always see trends. I'm always on TikTok scrolling, you know, doing like positive scrolling because I'm actually looking for the next trends and what's going on. So by the time I came around to this brand, we probably had over like 100 million views across our supplement brands. So I just kind of like went from there and just applied the same thing to apparel.
I see. So a lot of it was from organic growth on TikTok. How'd you feel about the whole TikTok shutdown? What was your mind like transitioning? What was going on?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I would say I would stay pretty positive and pretty optimistic just because I realized that for like the past, I guess I've been in TikTok making money on there since 2021, and I've heard a ban happening at least 2 to 3 times since then. So it never actually went through. I would say I was a little bit scared this time, but like for something, I was just trying to stay positive, and I just had a feeling like the day it had shut down, I was just telling my girl like, yo, I feel like it's about to come on. But to be honest, I was a little bit shook at some points. But preparing for that, we kind of like realized, okay, there's a possibility that TikTok can be down, so we started spending a little bit more on Instagram and Facebook ads. So we were kind of preparing just because I thought, obviously, people who are on TikTok are going to go somewhere. More than likely, they're just going to go back to Instagram. So we just kind of move a lot of our content over there rather than using TikTok as a source. But I will be honest, like I was positive, but that day it actually shut down. My stomach was churning a little bit.
So what do you think? Do you think people should still focus on TikTok going into this year?
I definitely think so. I know last year, so I don't remember the exact date where they pushed the ban through, like the actual like law. But I know a lot of people were saying like, all right, get off TikTok, start migrating over. And my thoughts were, it was like that ban is not going to happen until like next year or so. So like that's plenty of money to be made in between. So I definitely suggest people to, if they can, stay on TikTok and utilize it, just because I think the growth there is still great. It's probably not as great as it was 3 years ago, but you can still like build a real brand off of it. You know, just because the type of content you post on TikTok will work well on Instagram too as well. So I definitely think you should utilize both. Because if there's an actual ban, we'll have enough time to be able to make a lot of money off of it. And yeah. So I definitely think people should keep utilizing TikTok.
All right, so let's see if I can clear this up for everybody. So you got the plumber, you got Y'all Need Jesus. You've done like over 100,000 like 60 days or something, like when you first
within our first 60 days. Yeah, utilizing TikTok Shop.
Dang. Okay, and then you have the supplement brand that did over $1 million last year.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you decide where you want to spend your focus at?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. That's something I'm still trying to figure out. But one thing that was probably like my biggest investment last year was hiring like a personal assistant. She keeps me very, very organized. She's way more organized than me because I'm more of a person that's just like a grit person, just grind and does it. But sometimes if you're just working hard and like you're just going in a big circle. So she's able to put me on a schedule. She keeps me accountable. So it's like an accountability partner that I have right there. So that's one of the biggest things. I just have time blocks. We every morning we talk about like the 5 things that I had to get done, and she does a really, really good job. So shout out to her. But that's been the biggest investment for me, is just having like different time blocks of knowing time to focus on this task right here, time to focus on this task for this brand. And that right there saved my insanity. It saved my mental health.
So you're doing this full time now. What were you doing before? Do you remember what that jump was like going into doing this full time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think I ever really spoke on it, but you know, I graduated from Kennesaw State, so I went to school. But even there, bro, I never really told anybody this, but I think my freshman year I flunked out, so I pretty much got expelled just because not that I was like dumb or anything, but I just remember being in class and just like daydreaming, just thinking about like how to make some real money, because I started looking up like the salary of the major I was going in, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna be able to like cover what I really want. So I just remember daydreaming, and then next thing I know, I got expelled, and I was like, wow, okay. So I ended up getting back in school, graduating, and I got a job in IT. And it was very, very cool. Obviously, there's great money in tech, but it just wasn't like, I just knew it wasn't for me. Like I was really depressed and stuff like that. So I ended up just taking like, I think I saved up like $20,000, and I just took the jump. And then COVID happened, so like a lot of stuff failed, but a lot of stuff went great for me too. And I just remember just like saying, I might as well do it now when I don't have any kids. I don't have too many bills to pay. I think I'm still staying with my parents and stuff like that. So that was like the hardest thing to explain to them, that like, you know, I know y'all have this big plan for me and whatnot, but you know, I'm gonna do this right now, because if I can't do it now, then it's going to get harder and harder. So it was a lot of falls and a lot of like wins, but I'm just grateful I actually had the audacity to do it.
So your biggest jump was like right around COVID?
Yep. I think May of 2019 is when I stopped And I was actually in Airbnbs at the time. So as soon as COVID happened, I was pretty much all in on Airbnbs. I think I had like 12 listings, and then all of our like bookings got immediately dropped. So I had 2 other partners at the time. We were also selling like this product called CMOS. Are you familiar with CMOS?
Yeah.
So we were selling CMOS just like on Instagram, like to our followers and stuff on Instagram stories prior to COVID happening. And then once COVID happened and all of our bookings got stopped, we just made like, it just turned on. Like I remember our parents, we had just moved into a lease somewhere downtown in Midtown. I want to say March 15th. And if you don't remember, that's like the exact date everything shut down. So like they were moving in. Like I was low key spooked, bro. Our parents was calling us like, y'all know y'all can move back if y'all want to. And it's funny because they had their parents called them, my parents called me, and bro, we just looked at each other like, bro, we gotta make this happen right now. And that's when the supplement company was born. We were probably like one of the first brands to actually like market CMOS as a brand rather than just like a side hustle.
Right.
And we did our first $1 million within 8 months there too. So we were really, really blessed. We went from like having a bunch of listings to them getting all pretty much just like we had to refund everybody to that happened to CMOS company. I think we had our first 100,000 within the first 30 days. And that's 2020. So no one's running ads. Ads were very cheap.
Yeah. So what was that? All right, let me two questions then. Well, let me see if I can clarify for everyone because like you said, you had 12 Airbnb listings. Were you doing like Airbnb like arbitrage? Like were you subleasing?
Yep. So we were doing like a couple of them. I think we had like 3 illegal ones that we just like had a lease on. And like obviously we were just like having them sneak around the leasing office and stuff like that. But then we also had a partner with some other people and some landlords. So we were legit and like we really were all in. Like, bro, I was like, bro, I'm really about to be like a real estate person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like COVID happened, bro, and it had to be like the biggest. At the time, it seemed like the most heartbreaking and like disappointing thing ever. But it's obviously a blessing because we would have never had those. I would have never got deeper into e-commerce if that never happened.
So that's interesting because like you really had something you felt like that was about to be your thing right there. You had 12 listings and you felt like you're about to go probably buy your own real estate, start doing that full time, and then that dream just got shut off.
Bro, it got shut down quick. Like, we were humbled, bro. We were very humbled at the time.
All right, so and then that pushed into the e-com, and then you did see a lot of that COVID success too. How did you pivot from there? Because obviously the next few years it wasn't, I mean, it's still here, but like there's still a lot more learning to do because like in 2020 it was almost like anyone could hop online, figure some things out real quick. So what was that transformation like to still maintain that success?
Yeah, no, that's funny you say that because like we had partnered with a marketing agency, so we end up giving them equity from the start, right? So they really helped us grow very, very fast. So I'm very grateful for that. But once our ad account went down, it was almost like, again, what are we supposed to do now? So we hit our $1 million and then ad account went down, and that's how we got over to TikTok. So we really just had to like really, really lock in on customer experience, locking in on the numbers, really knowing what the numbers were doing because the data is going to tell you everything you need to know. So we were just like really just like getting the sales, shipping the order out, and that's all I really knew at the time until probably like once we end up hiring like a bookkeeper, and the bookkeeper's like, where's all the money at? And we're like, I don't know. Like, oh, we supposed to be looking at the numbers and stuff? Like, I thought we were supposed to get sales. So we really had to turn into I had to change the mindset of a side hustle into like a real business because I didn't have a job. So we had to use that as our lifeline. So that's like when I really, really had to lock in and started like listening to more people on YouTube because that's like the time a lot of people like you were starting to speak on stuff. So yeah, just like actually taking advice and not being hard-headed was like the biggest thing for me.
All right, so talk to me. 2025, you went through all these ups and downs. You starting to be able to maintain. It sounds like you met a lot of great partners along the way too. So talk to me. Going into this year, what should people focus on? Growing their brand.
Yeah, of course. I'm very excited to talk about this topic. So once again, just utilizing the different platforms. It's almost like the platforms are competing with each other right now, and they want you to get recognition, they want you to get awareness, they want you to spend money with them. They want to push your brand because the more you have, like the more content you're putting out and the content that's actually working, the more people are watching it. So that means the more people are on their platforms. So it's almost like they want you to win. So take advantage of that. Just utilizing content. I think one of the biggest things right now is you can have your high-end content, but also there's content where it's very, very simple. You just need an iPhone. This is the only time we've actually used content just on our iPhone. So if you know about our brand, Y'all Need Jesus, if you ever seen it, it's like real raw content, a 10-second clip that goes viral pretty much every single time. So yeah, utilize like the low quality content. You don't have to spend a lot of money on high quality content, but if you are creative enough to come up with skits and commercials, do that. It just really depends on what your brand is. If you have like a streetwear brand and the price is over $100-$200, you might want to put more effort into your content. But if you have like a lower price product like mine, it's iPhone quality content works well too. So just use, be when you're scrolling, be intentional, see what's working for other brands and try to put your own spin on it. I think that's one of like the easiest ways to get to success instead of trying to be like super original. Not saying not being original, like being original is bad, but if you want success, you obviously got to work with speed, and somebody else has already figured out the answer, so you might want to try what they're doing and just put your own spin to it. So that's my biggest thing as far as content. And then two, I think as clothing brand owners, I think something that we don't do is like provide our customers great experiences. So just like whether it's unboxing, whether it's just actually having a customer service team, or outsourcing the customer service and being able to respond within 24 hours and whatnot, because realize we're actually like competing with like Amazon too. Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world, and the customer could have went and chose something on Amazon, but they chose to work with you, and we're not able to compete with Amazon's time. We're not able to compete with Amazon's shipping, their customer service, refunding immediately right then. So we do have to provide them some type of customer experience, whether it's like a free keychain, a free wristband, something where they open up their package and they say, wow, like, okay, I really like this brand. I appreciate them. If they ask for a refund and you feel like you're in the wrong as a clothing brand owner, give them a refund, because more than likely they're not going to say anything bad, or they might come back and shop with you. So just there's little things that we could be doing, but I think clothing brand owners end up having like a big ego, and we forget the operations part, and we forget the customer experience and the customer service part, and for some reason we feel like we're way better than our customers, and like, all right, if I lose that customer, I'm gonna get 10 more, I don't care. But that one customer could have bought you 10 more customers too at the same time. So I think that's one thing we got to really, really, really key on, because I think the customers are not stupid, they're not slow anymore, and they're gonna really rock with the brands who like are showing love back to them.
Yeah, I think you got a great point right there. I agree what you said with the ego thing too. It's like, because you come into the brand game like, thinking your designs are the best. I mean, in a sense, you got to have that confidence, right? I mean, you come in, you want to show your creativity to the world, but like not everyone's on the same wavelength as you. So, there's got to be a point in time where you got to be able to take that criticism, kind of yourself and change it.
100%. I think one thing we forget is that we're not just in the clothing brand space. We're not in the design space. You actually signed up to be in the hospitality space, in the customer service space, the logistics space, and the shipping space, the accounting space, bookkeeping space. So like, it's a lot that comes with being a brand owner. And I think as brand owners, we just need to embrace it and either outsource it, find people that are better than us to do the job for us, or we put the effort in to do it ourselves.
I agree. All right, so give me, before we hop off over here, give me three of the biggest tips you got for we're already talking about clothing brands. You was able to increase that real quick. You had the supplement brand. When did you know? All right, let me see. So a lot of people have clothing brands here, but a lot of times people give up on that brand, and that's it. That's the end of the story. A lot of times I always tell people, you gain a lot of experience, you gain a lot of skills with that. You can go into some other type of brand that does not have to do with clothing, like you hop into supplements and whatnot. And you've done very well with that. So when do you think like someone should, give up on the brand, start something else? Let's just go with that question. Forget the 3 days.
I get what you're saying. It's crazy. I really almost want to say don't give up. Like, don't ever give up, because that's like, if you give up, then it's over. Like you said, it's over for you. But obviously there's times that you got to make a shift and stuff. So I just think once you realize, it kind of goes back to your why. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
If it's just money, you're going to burn out, right? So if your why is bigger than that, if your why is I want to impact a community, if it's I want to take care of my parents and stuff like that, and retire them, because if you're doing that for your clothing brand, and then if you're just a design heavy person and that's it, you don't want to do marketing, then maybe it is time to shift, because you are into marketing, you're into customer service. Like I said, those different parts of the business, that's what you signed up for. So I think once you become burnt out and your why is just not making sense anymore, it's probably time for you to start making a shift. There's plenty other things like quitting. Well, it's not even quitting, because you're just making a shift. So like, making a shift, there's nothing wrong with it. If I never made a shift, I could have been on my old brand, still trying to figure it out to this day, 10 years later, and still had the same success. That's literally insanity by doing the same thing over and over again. expecting different results. So yeah, that's my biggest advice. Once the why is not making sense anymore and like you just feel burnt out, there's plenty other things that you could be doing too to actually make money online. So
Yeah,
that's probably
I like
my
what
biggest
you
advice.
said. Yeah, I like what you said. Like shifting instead of just quitting it. Just kind
Yeah, just quitting. Cause bro, it's been times where I felt like I quit, but I really didn't. I just really I just turned left. I made a turn instead of going
Yeah.
straight. And turns out there was a crash down there or something like that. I'm just giving you like an example. It turns out it was a crash straight ahead. So if I would have went straight, I'd have been in traffic. But I ended up taking a left and got to the destination quicker. So I think that's really what it is. I didn't turn around. I just took a left.
Love it. All right, you got any last words for everybody?
My biggest advice, man, listen to people who have done what you have done. So listen to Rich, bro. I see Rich all the time posting actual results of people. He's done it, bro. He has the lifestyle that many people want, has a great family. So listen to people like Rich, bro. Once again, besides that, hold on, before I answer the question, Rich, I see you post results from people, bro, from in your community. That is very, very rare. I see other people with communities and I never see them posting results from other people. It's always their results. Or it's always like how they're living and stuff like that. So I think that's awesome to see. But my other advice is to actually start. We already talked about it. Don't quit. Just make your adjustments. Because once you quit, man, that's almost like one of those regrets where like you're on your deathbed and you're like, dog, I wish I would have kept at it. So that's like my biggest advice, to start. Listen to people who have done what you have done, and pretty much just like follow every step they have, and just ask for their advice, see what didn't work for them, and see what works for them, and do that. So yeah, I think those are like 3 simple things that are very underrated. That's gonna get you to success a lot faster.
Man, appreciate you for joining, man. Where can the people follow you at?
Yeah, definitely hop on my Instagram, Tevin Holiday. I'll be dropping a lot more content, clothing brand space-wise, supplement space-wise, entrepreneurship-wise. And then I definitely want y'all to get on my YouTube if y'all can, man. I'm gonna have a lot of unfiltered, just raw content on there that's like me just brain dumping. So, as I'm one of those people that start somewhere and I'll perfect it later. So I want y'all to try to get this new content I'm about to do. And take some notes, man. I appreciate you having me on.
No doubt. All right, so I'm going to see you guys on the next one. And make sure you guys click the links down below. Follow Tevin. And we'll see you guys soon.